就是西方官方上正式要灭共，认为共产党是恐怖组织，对西方对全人类造成了威胁。这个认知是在建立什么基础上？香港人的流血，香港孩子失去了生命，香港人的坚持，香港付出了金钱代价，和爆料革命所有战友们的辛勤付出，和爆料革命当中像我这样的人被家人搞得我们不能回家，老人气死，孩子被绑架，全部资产被剥夺，战友们很多人被杀掉、被抓去、被喝茶，是这些人的付出。然后是美国人的金融受到了威胁，国家安全受到了威胁，然后是美国人强烈的意识到，国家经济、国家金融，像那些退休基金、什么基金受到了强大的威胁。然后共产党承诺的所谓的中美协议根本不可能兑现，然后延伸到知识产权、国防、太空技术、网络，全面威胁，再加上 NBA 这些事儿最后是一定算总账。
The Bible of the Chinese Communist Party. The Chinese Communist Party looked at the Gulf War. This is one of the most important documents that's out there. This is a declassified version of it. The Chinese Communist Party realized in the 1990s after the Gulf War that for them to get into a kinetic conflict with the foreign devils, that would be the West, would be catastrophic. They didn't have the precision technology. They didn't have the sophistication. They said one thing foreign devils can do is actually fight modern warfare. So we will never do that. Our issue is become a hegemon in East Asia and eventually the Eurasian landmass, and then move towards global domination. And the way we're going to do that is Sun Tzu's strategy, that if you have to get to a kinetic conflict, you've already lost anyway. We are going to basically overwhelm the West, and we're going to do it through cyber, psychological, political, cultural, and most importantly, economic warfare. And that is what the Chinese Communist Party has been engaged with us for 25 years of economic warfare. Never before in world history have we ever had a potential rising or existential threat to an existing hegemonic power that was financed and nurtured by the elites of the hegemon. This has all come about in 25 years, and look, they gamed the system totally, never lived up to anything. President Obama signed a massive cyber deal with them in 2015. It was actually an excellent deal. They never lived up to anything. Okay, President Trump, then in Hong Kong, in 2019, look what they did in Hong Kong with having 70 years and Thatcher and a tight deal for freedom, totally threw out the window, and have turned Hong Kong essentially into a slave labor camp for the Chinese Communist Party. In maybe June or July of that year, they have a One Belt, One Road meeting, I believe was in Shanghai, and Putin shows up. And they go through this first big One Belt, One Road meeting, and Wang Qishan and Xi kind of come to the conclusion with Putin, they're going, we're on a roll. We have a whole thing called the network system, right? They're trying to destroy the nation state. They want to look at China as the railhead of production, take Germany, everything those are component part manufacturers. These are final markets. It's a brilliant laid through, and they're going to use predatory kind of British East India Company in reverse predatory capitalism to do this. They come and they say, look, if we sign this deal, we're totally subservient to the West. We're not going to do this. We're going to actually decouple. And we're going to say, no way. When Xi and the senior cadre of the Chinese Communist Party said no, about 2 weeks after, they declared a people's war on the United States. It shouldn't be lost on people that 90 days later, in the military games in Wuhan, is where the first diagnosis of the virus came for the pandemic. It came no later than December or January in 2020. We did a skinny deal after that. They haven't lived anything in the skinny deal that you just mentioned. None of the agreements that either they tore them up and walked away, or they have not lived up to any of the things they agreed to. The skinny deal is
the phase one deal.
The phase one deal.
The phase one, that was 2018.
No. We had a little memorandum of understanding. The phase one deal was January 2020. That's what we call the skinny deal. Okay. 2018 was a little interim. We're going to agree to move forward. That's the big deal that they were working on, was the Lighthizer deal in May of 2019 that they just walked away from. They essentially said, we're going to decouple, and we will decouple from the Western technology because we don't want the foreign devils to ever have the high ground.
Communism's hard for me to give a